What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another what to buy on eBay video. And this episode, I think we're at like 48, 49. I've lost count at this point. But this episode is all vintage Star Wars action figures. I've got a few bootlegs as well. And most of these are auctions, but I do have some buy it nows that I think are worth looking at. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. They get my videos 24 hours early access at patreon.com/actionfiguregrader. All right, let's go ahead and dig in. We've got some buy it nows and some auctions, as I mentioned. And here is one that's at auction. It's an AFA 85 Power of the Jedi Leia Bespin. And normally you'd be like, what's the big deal about that? Well, this one is a Hasbro standard tag. So this would be like a pre-production item where they are doing a sample of the machinery to make sure that it's spitting out what is going to go to retail later on. And they put these tags on the back and they're signed off by the quality assurance people. They're passed around from different people internally at Hasbro, and usually they're all beat up because they've been passed from engineer to department and things like that, sitting on engineers' desks for inspection. And this one is an AFA 85, so very tough to find this one in high grade. You see these pop up occasionally, but pretty rare that they come up at auction. Usually they're a couple $100 in buy it now situations or on Facebook. But this one's at auction. There's 4 days, 8 hours left. It ends Sunday evening, and right now it's at $22.50. $11 shipping on that one. So, you know, if you're into these kind of quality control Hasbro green standard tag things, pretty good looking item there, and certainly a nice pre-production item if you're into that kind of stuff. Some loose graded items. Here is one that is a buy it now situation. It's a UKG 90, so very, very high grade Luke Jedi made in Taiwan. It's listed for $300. It's here in the US. I did receive an offer from this seller for $270. So that's a pretty good price for a UKG 90. Very, very high grade Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight Taiwan variant with the brand new case style. So again, it's at $300 right now, $269.99. And I haven't bought from this seller before, but I've heard good things about this seller. So go ahead and check out his. He's got a bunch of different other items, high grade stuff. I think I've got one other one here, a CAS 90 Luke Jedi Knight, and this one is also a Taiwan. So CAS 90 or UKG 90. This one's $299, and the other one's $299. So you can get either one depending on which grading company you like, but CAS does a nice job having the cape displayed next to it, although I'll warn you that they do take up a little bit of space. I've got 7 of these, I think. Maybe not that many, but a lot. And they do take up quite a bit of space, although they look pretty awesome. So 2 different Luke Jedis to think about. And as always, I'll put the item numbers in the video description for this video in case you want to go look them up on eBay. Next up, we've got another auction. This one is for the Taiwan variant for Boba Fett with the V5 blaster. So it's got the correct blaster. Taiwan, UKG, 85% with 85% sub-score. So really nice. 4 days, 2 hours left on this one. It ends Sunday afternoon, 2:49 p.m. Central Time. So 3:49 Eastern. And that looks every bit of an 85 to me. And this, I bought from this seller before, Casual Retro Trader. I've been very, very happy buying from this seller before, so check that one out. But that one is at auction, a Boba Fett Taiwan with the V5 blaster. He also has this buy it now for a Lili Ledy Zuckuss, and that one definitely is the Lili Ledy, just looking at the front photo, because it's got that very dark red kind of thing on his nose there. So it's a much darker, kind of richer red color for the Lili Ledy. And a pretty nice looking example. This one is graded UKG 80%. Figure got an 85, paint 75, circle on the heels, Lili Ledy. So if you're into that, those foreign variants, this one's listed for 125 pounds, which is 163 US dollars. And there's 6 watchers on this one right now. So I have bought from this seller before and been very, very happy. And just wanted to point that one out. Next up, the Muffin Man is back in action with some beautiful high-grade figures, although I would argue this one's probably a little overgraded, but who cares? It's the Poch, Spanish POC red hair Leia Bespin, and it's graded 85%, figure 85, paint 80, cape 85. I think that's probably a little overgraded if you look at the hand there. I mean, these Spanish figures, the paint on these things are very, very tough to get in high grade. I would argue this is probably a UKG 80% versus an 85 just because of that hand damage, but you know, Spanish figures, at least UKG seems to grade Spanish figures on a little bit different scale than they do with the standard Hong Kong or no COO or, you know, Taiwan's, things like that. Because the Spanish factory, the POC Spanish factory was prior to the merger with PBP, and their paint apps were terrible, absolutely terrible, and they very rarely stay on. But this is a very tough to find Spanish figure, and whatever it goes for, good luck, because it's a really tough one to find, even loose, ungraded. So right now it's at 122 pounds, which is 160 US dollars. That one also ends on Sunday afternoon. Beautiful looking Spanish figure. Same seller also has the Lili Ledy made in Mexico R2D2 solid dome, UKG 75%. Every Lili Ledy R2D2, it always seems like it has some damage. The sticker always seems to yellow, as this is the case with this one. Very rarely do you even see them in a 75 grade. This one looks like a 75 to me all day long. Right now it's at 107 pounds or $140. That one also ends on Sunday afternoon. SW Seller always has very nice high-grade items, and he's got a few more that are at auction. He's got an AFA 85 Darth Vader with the lettered Saber, Hong Kong COO, brand new case style. Right now it's at $150. That one ends on Saturday evening. $150 for that one. But the letter on the Saber hilt, that just signifies that it's one of the earlier Saber variations for those Hong Kong Vaders, and he always has beautiful, crisp photos, absolutely gorgeous looking example. He also has an AFA 85 loose graded Jawa, Hong Kong COO with the dark brown stitch. And, you know, that's probably the most common one to find, but if you're looking for a very high grade Jawa, there's one at auction right now, and again, that one ends Saturday evening as well. Right now it's at $86. This is one I want to thank Bill, who emailed me this one. This one is listed as an R5D4 excellent condition. That's all it says, original sticker. Well, if you look at the other photos right here, he's got the head backwards, and it's a red bar. It's a red bar R5D4. So, Bill, thank you for sending me this one. I wanted to share it with the group for those of you who are looking for a red bar. It seems like the cat's kind of out of the bag, don't you think, based on this auction price so far? It's at $207.50. It ends Saturday evening at 7:32 Central Time. So, you know, it's still low for a red bar. You can see the red bar there. Sticker looks to be in great shape. Probably like a low 80 grade, maybe a 75 plus. But we all know how expensive red bar R5D4s have become. And this seller clearly didn't know that this is a pretty expensive variant. But the cat's out of the bag based on that bid, so I don't feel too bad sharing this one. You know, just given that it's very clearly for an ungraded R5D4 that's not the red bar, or, you know, not the red bar, it wouldn't be selling for $207.50. So I have no idea what this one's going to end at. If I had to guess, I'd say $400 to $450. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's low. But they have definitely gone up in price. CAS 85. There was one that sold for like something crazy, like $1,300 on Facebook. So they're very, very pricey, very high demand. And if you're looking for kind of a mid to, you know, near mint minus grade one, this one is at auction. And again, it ends Saturday evening. The only comic, I've only got one comic. The rest of it is all action figures, don't worry. But this is Dark Horse Insiders, Volume 2, number 46. This is kind of like a preview sneak peek edition for Heir to the Empire. So this is more like a magazine almost, and it is comic book sized, but it's kind of just gives you a sneak peek of what's coming for Heir to the Empire, which came out after this sneak peek kind of insider book. So very tough to find this one in a high grade. Not many of these on the census in a 9.8. Right now it's at $157.50. That one ends Sunday night as well. I mean, you know, to me, you'd rather have Heir to the Empire #1. The actual comic, but if you've already got that one and you want to kind of add to your Grand Admiral Thrawn collection, this is a pretty cool option, because there's definitely not many of these in a 9.8 grade on the census. So that one's at auction. Back to the action figures, we've got a Kenner Canada Luke Farm Boy on an Empire Strikes Back card, unpunched. It's only a CAS 70 plus, but still, it's a Kenner Canada Farm Boy. 70, 85, 85 for an overall 70 plus. But you know, it's a shame that the card had, I guess, some damage to it, because the blister and the figure are in pretty immaculate shape based on that photo there. But it's at 4:05. It ends Sunday evening at 8:14 Central Time. I'm sure it's going to go for big money despite only being a 70 grade, because it does have two very high sub scores, and it's a foreign variant that's tough to track down if you're a Luke Farm Boy Focus collector. So pretty cool item there. Same seller also has the Top Toys El Regreso del Jedi Stormtrooper. This is another one that's tough to get and very rarely comes up at auction. This one is a 75 plus with CAS. That one also ends Sunday evening, and right now it's at about 240 bucks. I expect that one to go for $500 to $600 minimum, probably higher. But a pretty nice looking example there. The Stormtroopers are kind of known to degrade over time, and it does look like the Stormtroopers got some yellowing going on the torso there. But that's a really nice example of the Argentinian Top Toys El Regreso del Jedi Stormtrooper. Same seller also has an EV99. This one is graded CAS 80. And it looks like a clear blister. It is a clear blister, so that's tough to get. It's a clear blister Power of the Force card. 80, 85, 90 for an overall 80. And as you can see in the photos there, it is a clear blister. So that's a very attractive last 17 figure. Very rarely do these stay clear blister. So that's an awesome looking item. Unpunched. It does have that Toys R Us price sticker there, but man, to get a clear blister EV99 Power of the Force, that's a gem. And it's at $510 right now with 4 days and 7 hours left. I expect that one to probably get close to double that price, $800 to $900 pretty easily, probably even higher because of the clear blister. Next up, I do have some bootlegs I wanted to show you, and they are at auction. I don't know if they're good deals or not, but they seem pretty well priced to me. If you're into Polish bootlegs, this seller has a bunch of them that are ending Saturday at 1:29 Central Time. And I didn't include all of them, but I did want to quickly go through some of the ones he has at auction. He's got a Princess Leia with the cape. This is a third generation from the mid-1990s. Pretty ugly looking thing. I just unboxed a couple of these that I had graded by CAS, but mine did not have the cape like this one does. This one is the correct cape, and it also includes the Polish bootleg weapon. So pretty nice looking example. It's listed for 350 euros for the starting price, which is about $400. I didn't pay that much for mine, but I also didn't have the cape with mine. So, you know, again, I don't know if it's a fair price, but I wanted to at least point them out. He's got an Imperial Death Star gunner, and it does have a weapon, but just keep in mind that that weapon is a Polish bootleg G.I. Joe weapon. So that's not a Star Wars weapon per se, but there were some Polish bootleg G.I. Joes, and they had their own weapons, and he's paired it with that one. So just keep that in mind. But the starting price is very reasonable on this one. This is another third generation, it looks like, and the starting price is 140 euros, which is $157. This is one that's really nice because it's 100% complete, and that's the third gen Darth Vader, and it includes kind of this weird lightsaber that's really more like a knife, but that is a Polish bootleg weapon, and it also does have the cape. So pretty awesome looking example there. And you know, again, the starting price on that's $213. That's worth every penny to me. I'd pay that all day long, you know, just to get a 100% complete example, and it looks to be in really great shape. And then he's also got a Hoth Stormtrooper. This is the silver third gen. It could be a second gen, I guess, but it looks like a third gen to me. And that also includes kind of a G.I. Joe weapon. I mean, you can often pair this weapon with Weequay or the IG-88, although the unarticulated IG-88 bootleg, all the unarticulateds did not come with weapons, but I do see some people pair that weapon up with IG-88 since it very closely mimics the license figure. But this is a third gen, I think, or maybe a second gen Hoth Stormtrooper, and the starting bid on that one's $157. And then I've got a couple of pretty expensive items that I at least wanted to show you. I don't think this price is too far off. This is an AFA 80 tri-logo Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing fighter gear, and it's got the KB Toys overstock price sticker, 2 for $1. And it is a punched example, but it's graded 80, straight 80s for the sub-score, made in China for the figure type. It's an archival case as well. Now, it's listed for $1,000. There are 8 watchers on it, and it also is make an offer. I mean, to me, if it was offered at $750, I think I would buy it. I mean, that's one I don't have, and it's fairly difficult to find. But $1,000 bucks, I mean, I've seen them sell for that, but to me, you know, if you can talk him down a little bit, I would, if you're into these tri-logos. That's a really nice looking example. I mean, you could argue that the blister score is probably a little high. It's probably more like a 75 blister score, but AFA kind of took mercy on it. It does have the blister support going around the blister, so that's kind of a nice feature there. Just given how fragile those blisters are. So anyway, that's a really nice example. I mean, to me, if I was in the market, I probably would pay up to $900 for it, to be honest with you. But you know, in the current environment, I think you can probably go back to them and try to talk them down a little bit. 800, 750, I don't know, somewhere in that ballpark. But that's a really nice looking example. Very, very tough to find that tri-logo Luke X-Wing. And then finally, I had to show you this. I'm not saying to buy this because this price seems absurd to me, but this is a factory error upside down blister and for the Death Star droid. Of course, I would love to have this for my Death Star droid run, and you can see that the blister was attached in a completely wrong spot, and it's on a 20 back Boba 20 back D Death Star droid, and it's crazy to me that AFA didn't label this as a factory error. So take that for what you will. But the card got a 70 blister 85 figure 80, and you know, it's just kind of a cool factory error item. It's listed for $10,000. There's 7 watchers on it. I have no idea what this is worth. This is kind of a one of one type of thing, so somebody might pay up for it. I don't think anyone's going to pay $10,000 for it, but it's certainly a really cool factory error that I at least just wanted to show you. I tend to kind of show these off the wall or really expensive items at the end of my what to buy videos, just because you don't see them very often, and this certainly qualifies because I've never seen this before. And you know, I've seen it on a few other kind of examples of other figures or whatever, but never for a Death Star droid on such an early card back. So very, very cool item. And you know, if you got the deep pockets and you don't mind overpaying for something, there you go. There's a factory error Death Star droid for 10 grand. So anyway, I hope you find something that you like. Happy toy hunting out there. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll be back soon.